Hello and welcome to Men Behind the Curtain, the podcast about everything and nothing all at once. I am Pitt.
I'm Eli. I hope y'all are doing well. For this, will post on Tuesday, so it'll be 2 days past. But as of we're recording this, it is Sunday. So happy Father's Day to everybody who's out there who actually does take care of your fucking kids. Because if you're a sperm donor, fuck you.
Yeah, and plus you can brag about getting your dick wet.
There's that too. But yeah, I know me personally, I don't think we have any plans. I know my wife, I know my kids were making a card as we speak, or maybe they did it already. My wife got something, I haven't yet received it, so I don't know. But
Yeah,
I know
I've already seen mine today.
I know we're not going out. I know that like a mutual friend of ours, he posted something on Facebook earlier, so he got a. I don't know if it was just a particular golf club or if he got a set, but I made a comment on it because it said like Catalina something, so I had to make a joke and post a GIF about the Catalina wine mixer from Step Brothers.
I was thinking dressing, but yeah,
I mean that works too, but I don't
yeah,
even
no,
know why the Step Brothers reference became such a thing. Like
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
even,
like the movie.
it's probably the only movie. It's one of the only movies of Will Ferrell's that I can actually sit through, and I can only watch some of it. Like halfway through the movie, when they decide, did we just become best friends? The movie takes a fucking nosedive for me. I was laughing while they were fighting. I don't like them getting along. It
I don't
wasn't.
know. Honestly, I didn't even like the combo in Talladega Nights, which is another movie that I can't stand. The
Will
honest, the only one of the only movies that Will Ferrell's in that I like, other than like the Lego movie or the Barbie movie, is Stranger Than Fiction. So
I haven't watched it, but I have heard that that is a good one. Um, Me personally, my thing about Will Ferrell, and look, if you're a Will Ferrell fan, fine. I'm not even trying to knock him when I say this, but his comedy just doesn't work for me. Like it's too over the top all the fucking time, and it's too much of the same shit over and over. Now I say this knowing that I have been a Kevin Hart fan for a lot of years, and Kevin Hart is very much the same way. So I understand the double standard that I'm using here, but Kevin Hart's comedy worked for me. Will Ferrell's didn't.
well,
Um,
it's that same category that Adam Sandler falls into. So
in what way?
it's the same shit over and over again, over the top.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Adam Sandler, there are variances to it. Like so, in Little Nicky, like when he's playing a demon, he's not acting like a normal fucking person. So the comedy is a little bit different. In Big Daddy,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're using Little Nicky to say not
no,
acting
no.
like a normal fucking person, but every movie he's had, he's not acting like a normal fucking person.
Well, so like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, shit like that. He's playing a pseudo regular normal person with a really unserious circumstance. Mr. Deeds was fucking trash. There's one scene in Mr. Deeds that I laughed at, and it's the part when the dude is taking his belt off and whooping his son. And it's only because a grown man go, "No, daddy, no!" That was objectively funny to me. um, Although I will give Adam Sandler credit for one thing though, and we've talked about this before, like how comedians sometimes can have a serious role. If you watch Uncut Gems, he was actually entertaining in that. I will give Adam Sandler credit for that. That was a good movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm the same way, like because you can throw Jim Carrey into the mix as well, considering the fact that yes, majority of his stuff is pretty much the same type of humor, same concept, but in the serious roles, I mean, Jim Carrey phenomenally, regardless of the shit that the number 23 gets. I thought he was phenomenal in it. I also thought he was phenomenal in The Majestic. I thought he was brilliant.
Well, even in something like The Truman Show, which I talked about that a couple of months ago because I just revisited that. his character, there is some sprinkles of humor in the movie, but his character is not meant to be comedic. His character is a lot more heartfelt, a lot more of a quote unquote real person, despite the environment that he's in. And I felt he gave a really good performance. A little bit goofy, unintentionally goofy, I would say. A little bit not naive. I don't think that's the word that I want, but just like his like almost endless optimism. Like it's a little weird, but it comes off genuine from him. And I thought it was a good performance. I still don't really know that I like the movie, but I like him in it. So I'll say that much.
That's fair. And I think the word you're looking for is ignorant. And I don't mean that in a negative context. It just, he is lacking knowledge or specifics that allow him to, you know.
Yeah, and that movie does get a little bit more interesting as it goes on because like he does start to wake up, if you will. Um, Now the first time that I watched that movie as a kid, I didn't catch certain things that were right in front of your face. Like when his neighbor came out with the trash can. First of all, who carries a fucking trash can like this? But then when he's carrying it, the camera in the trash can is right dead fucking center. Like you can't miss it. So or like when you get these twins who like shove him against the wall because they're doing product placement. Since they don't do commercials, they just do product placement and there's a big fucking sign right behind him. So certain things like that would stick out a little bit more. Um, but yeah, again, it was a good performance from him. Whether you like the movie or not, Jim Carrey himself, it was a good performance from him.
I can agree.
Um, but so I guess we could just dive right into this and get out of the way. Um, so well, for one thing, once again, we can just go ahead and knock this out as far as our cunt of the week, unless you have a better candidate for this. There was an article from, of course, the Fanta-fascist himself saying that as president that there was no limits to his presidential powers, which is not fucking true. But um, the fact that they let him go on thinking this is so concerning. Um, Although it does cause crash outs when he finds out that that's not true, and that is objectively funny.
No, and I agree. I mean, the lack of awareness, the lack of intelligence, the constant conceptualization that he is untouchable. It's just, it's to a point where it's like I don't even want to turn on any TV because regardless of whatever you're watching, it's bound to pop up. I don't want to stream anything because, oh, President Trump says this. One side you got people praising him, and the other side is like, oh, look at what this dumbass said again. And it's like getting to a point. It's like The Onion almost out of business. I'm tired of living in idiocracy, So it's like, we've got Brondo in the fucking reflecting pool because that's what reflecting pools crave. That's what reflecting pools need.
It's got electrolytes. Although oh fuck, I lost it because I do have that article. I was gonna go ahead and pull that up here in a second, but um fuck, I lost it right in the middle of it because you were talking about he was thinking that he was untouchable, and you said something in between that and bringing up the reflecting pool, and I already fucking lost it.
The part about doesn't matter what you're watching. One of his stupid
Oh,
things.
The Onion. That's what it was.
Oh.
My favorite part of the last couple of years is that Alex fucking Jones, his show Infowars, was purchased by The Onion, and that was just that I love that for him.
Well, you hear there's a whole conspiracy theory about how it's the Democrats that are throwing shit into the reflecting pool that are causing the algae, and then it's like, get fucking real.
I love that because he tried to blame Obama for it. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, well, because everything's Obama's fault.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. You spent 14 million, which actually I don't believe that. I believe he pocketed like $10 million. I genuinely do. But you spent $14 million on this for it to immediately turn green, which I have to pull. Have you seen the owner of the company who did this?
Yeah. What's up with his fucking eyebrows?
I,
I
I
mean, when you talk eyebrows, you think Eugene Levy, right? You know,
naturally
and this guy's it puts him to shame. I mean, it's not like a caterpillar across his face, but yeah, I mean, this guy looks like he is sitting outside of a preschool with a white panel van with puppies and kittens and candy.
he looks like, no, I really don't like Aaron Parnas. I really don't. But he looks like, oh, I wanted a larger picture of this dude doing this.
And I actually blew that up because I wanted to find out what cigar he was smoking, because if it's one that I enjoy, I was going to stop smoking it. Um, but I can't tell with the band. But um,
He,
yeah, he's giving cigar smokers, like, a bad name.
he looks like, and no pun intended with us having, Will Adams on here in the movies, we were talking about everything. He looks like a Tubi movies version of a mobster.
Okay. Yes. I was also going to say, is he the Timu pallbearer from WWE?
Yeah, he does look. Oh, I also said, like, in this picture right here, with with the little side part and like, in more in this picture than in this picture. Like, it's more in the one with the cigar. He looks like a bootleg Gomez Adams, like, but they had a $50 budget to do it.
He looks like if he looks like Dan Schneider, if Dan Schneider would actually go to fucking prison for all his fucked up shit and then got released 20 years later.
But if you are watching this on YouTube, and because if you're listening to it, you're not going to see what I'm pulling up here. But if you're looking at this on YouTube and you have a visual, if you have no idea what we're talking about, this image right here, the guy is literally holding the fucking paint that peeled up off the bottom of the reflecting pool. And it, his company is called Green Water Services.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Green water. We've got it.
This is irony at its fucking finest. Um, this is how I know the universe has a sense of humor. Um, now, the ultimate joke would be if he just fucked, but until then, whatever causes him misery. Again, Schadenfreude. This is just, love it. But so yeah, that would be our cunt of the week, and I guess our funny of the week, because how the fuck does that happen? Um, but yeah,
Mike Judge wrote it. That's how it happened.
honestly, I would not be surprised if we were living in a simulation right now. This is something only Mike Judge could create, because what the Jesus Christ is this? Which also, funny enough, you mentioning Mike Judge, um, I recently saw that they have added Beavis and Butthead to Netflix, like the original run.
Yes.
I'm actually considering it, but and I will say, I say this all the time, and I will stand by this. Beavis and Butthead walked so South Park could run.
So what I really and I credit Beavis and Butthead with finding some very obscure, talented bands out there. They were great at that, and some of the stuff that they did showcase on there was a bit questionable. There's a song called "Cigarette Dangles" by the band Pursuit of Happiness, and Beavis's first impression is like, "What is this, college music?"
Um, Although one thing I loved when they had a reboot season, like 10 years ago, me and my wife were watching it, and the segments where they used to watch music videos. Now they're watching some of the MTV reality shows, which that makes sense, considering that's what MTV had become. And they're watching 16-year-old or 16 and Pregnant. Well, it was either 16 and Pregnant or was it Teenage Mom? Was that the sequel show?
I don't know. We just called it Youngstown.
Fair. Uh, no, it was 16 and Pregnant, and I remember it because of this particular line. So they're watching it at first, and apparently they thought that it was a regular scripted TV show. And then they realized, like, oh no, oh, this is one of those reality shows. So she's not a bad actor, just a bad person. Jesus Christ. And the reason I remember it was 16 and Pregnant is like then the boyfriend, he's like Butthead is talking for him, quote unquote. I'll find a job before the baby gets here. And then they show him like looking out the patio door, kind of the way that you would like when you're just like staring out, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm so fucked. That's the expression on his face. But he's doing it like, I'll find a job before the baby gets out here, looking at the window. Gotta be one somewhere out there. Like
Sadly, that's how the real world works today.
yeah, unfortunately. So like I'm glad that I have, stable employment and everything. Although I would really like, I'm trying to turn this into a paying side gig. But speaking of which, I do have, I can talk about this a little bit. So I actually did finish up the audiobook that I was recording. I sent it off to the author. He approved it, which honestly surprised me. I thought he would ask me to re-record one or two chapters because my early chapters were not great, and it's because I was getting my process down with my macros and all that shit in Audacity. And I think I've got a good um, process now. Why did I lose that fucking word? But anyway, so it is currently sent to ACX. It should be published and available on Audible within like the next 10 days. So y'all can look for that from me. I should have something in about 2 weeks. Um, but anyway, the job market right now is shit. Um, so that Beavis and Butthead line that aged uncomfortably. We'll put it that way. um, but I guess after that we can go ahead and shift gears a little bit here. So um, I hate they threw me a false hope with Star Trek. You saw that article I showed you?
Yeah, what's funny because actually was reading I was reading something on it before you even sent me that article. The one I was reading for somewhere else, but yeah, I was like, yeah, I already know what this is about.
Oh God, I was so let down. So for those of y'all who don't know what we're talking about, because why would you? Um, so there has been an announcement about them continuing Seven of Nine's story, which spoiler alert, at the end of Picard, she is the new captain. She's captain of the newest Enterprise. Which one is this one? Like H
G.
G? Okay. Um, which is just the
Wait.
rechristened. I remember
Yeah,
G.
G. It's G.
Okay.
Because they renamed the Titan to Enterprise, which I actually at the end of Picard thought they were going to name it Picard, but they named it Enterprise, which kind of upset me.
I just learned something about that. This is like pseudo related. So do you ever watch the show The Unexplained? Like they put seasons of it on Netflix. Actually hosted by William Shatner. Actually,
I've
um,
heard about it, never watched it.
apparently, so ships on the sea, it is bad luck to rename them because per the seaman's lore, that was really bad phrasing, but um, per their lore, if Poseidon, aka King Neptune, has to relearn the name of your ship, then that is just bad luck and it is punishable either by death or by shipwreck. So it would be really cool if they would find a way to incorporate that into the Star Trek universe because you have a renamed ship right here. So that could actually make for a really cool arc.
Well,
But
but it's not the first ship to be renamed Enterprise.
True. Um, yeah. But it would have been cool for it would have been cool for them to incorporate that and kind of explore it. Um, I guess well, maybe not, because at this point, like, nobody's really superstitious like that. So maybe that might have actually been a weird fit to put that in the show.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would probably have been a good fit, considering the fact that they touched on literature and a few other things, like at the end of the sixth movie, Undiscovered Country, where he's like, second star to the right and straight on till morning. I mean, and we're not going to get hit for anything like that. We don't have to pay if I say that, right?
I think we're good. Well, no, because I remember I looked it up for Valmont, because when you take like dialogue and things like that, like, it's okay for snippets, like
Okay.
small pieces.
Okay.
Now, if I did a whole monologue, like last week we talked about like villain monologues, if I did like Agent Smith's entire monologue, the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect world. If I kept going with that speech, yeah, we might be able to get sued.
Okay, good. But yeah.
but yeah, so the but yeah, so sorry. For those of y'all watching or listening, so yes, they're continuing Seven's story, but unfortunately, it is in a comic book run. It is not going to be on television or in a movie, and I'm really disappointed at that, because I would have loved to see that play out. I love Jerry Ryan as Seven, so
I just I wish she would have come to terms with her birth name, Annika Hansen. Because to me, a perfect arc for that character would have been Captain Annika Hansen of the USS Voyager. And I only bring that up is because she really, really, other than being a fan favorite, and again, I love Jerry Ryan. She's a phenomenal actress. She's brilliant. And she really handled that role and made it her own. But I only bring that up is because she really had no tie in to Jean Luc Picard or any cast member of The Next Generation.
well, no, you're right. I was about to say Worf, but no, Worf is on Deep Space Nine, not Voyager.
Yeah.
Um,
The only connecting character is Tom Paris. It's because Paris, and there's a whole theory about this, but Paris was actually a different character who was at Starfleet Academy with Wesley Crusher, and they're the ones who, were testing they took out the shuttle and did all stupid stuff, and Nick Lacano. And what's really funny about that is Lower Decks actually brought Nick Lacano back, who was actually still voiced by Robert Duncan McNeil. So
well, and actually, what? In hindsight, I'll agree with you, and I think it would have been better if she was captain of the Voyager, because now I believe Picard finished before Discovery got to season 3. Was it?
yeah,
Um, so when they got there, fuck it, spoiler. So Discovery ends up 1,000 years into the future. There is still a Voyager in this version of Starfleet. So having Janeway, having Seven be captain of the next gen Voyager would have been really cool, and would have also been a nod to that continuation. So you could have done that and still had Picard Jr. go to the new Enterprise. You could have done both, honestly.
I still think that ship should have been named Picard. They should have renamed the Titan to Picard.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think I would.
how cool would it be, the USS Picard?
Well, and yeah, no, I'll agree with that, because also Ed Spieler's character, which I do not remember his name, but he took Crusher's name, so the Picard name was going to die out very soon, because Picard was at the end of his life. So that would have been a way for Starfleet to at least keep his name actively relevant. That would have been a cool way for them to do that.
Yeah, no, and I agree, but yeah, it's just a comic book.
Yeah, which that's unfortunate. I really would have loved to see that play out. And allegedly, Paramount is kind of winding down their Star Trek universe. We already know that Starfleet Academy is going to end with season 2. We already know that Strange New Worlds. They get to season 5, but I think season 5 is going to be it. Which
Yeah.
season 4 is what, a month away right now.
Yeah, it drops July 23rd.
And what are they continuing Lower Decks or no?
No, Lower Decks is done.
Well, shit. So Strange New Worlds is like the last bastion, if you will.
Well, here's the thing, and because we're always, I love Star Trek without a doubt. I mean, there's no question. But if you really want to bring in fans, I mean, how many seasons through multiple, you know, iterations have we focused on Starfleet? Why can't we have why can't we have something that focuses on the KDF, the Klingon Defense Force? Why can't we have something to focus on Romulans? Why can't we have something that focuses on Vulcans? Why can't we just create a new fucking species and focus on that?
I would almost say, hell, we could even go to the progenitors, but that it no, if we went back to the progenitors, that or the what that's going to feel a little bit too much like what they did with Alien, like Prometheus and Romulus and all that shit. It's going to feel too much like that.
But I mean, who wouldn't love to watch? I don't know, like a 12 episode series, that goes for 3 or 4 seasons. That is all Klingon. And
Honestly,
we're not talking about the Klingons that are, have an alliance with the Federation. We could talk about the broken alliance afterwards because the Klingon alliance and the Federation alliance did break up. They're kind of on good terms, but the Klingons will just blast you out of the fucking space regardless. But let's focus on that. Let's go 75 to 100 years past Picard, and let's look at Klingon. Let's look at the Klingons.
I just got another idea. Would be really fucking cool, and it can be an anthology series. It's the Kawat Malat.
Oh,
That could be an anthology because they jump on what they believe to be a lost cause. So chances are most of them probably die in those missions. So that's where I'm saying it can be an anthology. You follow, like, this season you follow this character, and then this season you follow this character. That could actually be a really good show.
yeah. Oh shit, you can do it with the Tal Shiar.
So yeah, they've built out a really wide universe, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be a permanent end because Star Trek is one of those franchises that it keeps resurfacing every so often. Star Wars has done it. They were gone for a long time after the original trilogy. Then they came back for the sequel trilogy. Then it died down a little bit. Then they had, well, I'm sorry, I said sequel. I meant to say prequel trilogy. It didn't completely die down because you had the Clone Wars and then you had Rebels, but then it got a little bit quiet for a little bit, and then once Disney purchased it, for better or worse, then we get the Mandalorian, we get Andor, we get Ahsoka, which I need news about season 2. I know that it's coming, but
I think it's August.
really okay,
Yeah.
okay, so that's 2 months away. Um, so that died down a little bit. Then it came back. Star Trek has done it because you had the original series. I'm not going to count the animated show. So between the original,
There's so much important that came out of that animated show.
but and then Star Trek had, like, well, no, because the movies ran into what, the 70s or no, the 80s.
90s.
Really?
Yeah.
When did Undiscovered Country come out?
I think it was like 89, 91, somewhere around there, because it wasn't long after Next Generation went off the air. They did Generations.
And I do remember that part. And of course, like, Next Gen was kind of a resurgence for that IP because you had Next Gen, and then they started introducing DS9 and then Voyager, which Voyager, I really do need to go back and rewatch Voyager because my mom watched it. I did kind of actively watch it with her, but I didn't get to watch it all the time like I would have liked to. The fuck? I had a notification on my phone. I don't know what that was. It woke my phone up, like the screen popped up, but I didn't see it. Wasn't a text or nothing. I don't know what that was. Um, But yeah, then after the end of Voyager, it died down a little bit, and then it actually died down for a while, and then like was
Enterprise,
okay. Although Enterprise was what, 4 seasons, 5 seasons, something like that.
4 seasons.
Which I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually surprised it ran as long as it did because I have not watched it. But most reactions to it were not favorable.
Okay.
So
Aside from the opening theme music, it is one of the better written Star Trek shows.
really,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, I'll give it a shot. That was Scott
And
Bakula, right?
yeah, and the reason I say this is humanity's first venture out into space. They don't know what's out there. They don't know what to expect. They don't know if they're going to come across hostiles. They don't know how to come across friendlies. The weapons are untested. Technology is untested. They can only go warp 5. That's the fastest they can go. Everybody on that ship was untested. I mean, you have Yoshi, who is their communications officer, who speaks all these languages, and you have to sit here and you watch her break down certain dialects and certain languages from alien species to try to find something that they can, understand what's going on. So for
Wait, so
me, it is one of the better written Star Trek series.
so I have a question here.
Mhm.
So you know the way that Strange New Worlds gives us like a rudimentary introductory holodeck, right?
Yes.
So, which also, by the way, that holodeck episode, that actress who is Laan Noonien Singh,
Mhm.
um, I feel like she gets very underplayed. Like, now this has nothing to do with her acting ability or her character, which are both great, but like, she is a gorgeous fucking woman, and I feel like you really don't see that enough because of the way that she's like the way that she's dressed and made up all the time. But she's fucking gorgeous. But anyway, um, so the way that we get that rudimentary holodeck, so do we get to see the beginning of like the universal translator?
Yes.
That's fucking cool. Okay.
You also get to see the beginning of many other things too.
Well, one thing I did find funny, with the episode of Strange New Worlds where they had their crossover with Lower Decks, and then Jack Quaid shows up,
Riker.
and they're looking at the new communication devices that Jack Quaid has, and like how it's the little thing that they tap, and they're like they like the thing that you flip open, and like it was like more satisfactory and everything, and I can relate to that because we're an age that our first cell phones were not one piece. Our first cell phones were the fucking flip phones, or Nokia, but mine was a flip phone.
Yeah. Well, even before they had the communicator appear, I mean, that was actually on Discovery season 2 when Pike was on there, and Ash,
Oh,
when he hit this, and he's like, "What was that? What'd you do? Where'd you get that?"
you're right. You're right. It was Section 31. They're the ones who had the special communicators, and
Yeah.
they're like, no, opening it like, no, that was the best part. And I think that I feel like that was a line that was for us as an older audience because I do miss that about cell phones. Having the flip phone, yes, it was not near as capable as these phones, but having the flip phone, there was something satisfying about it. Um, and I'm just gonna go on a quick tangent with this one. But so you remember the comedian Patrice O'Neill, right?
Yeah.
Which also hilarious comedian, rest in peace. He was fucking great. But he talked about one thing that you lose with cell phones, and especially nowadays with a regular smartphone, is you don't get to hang up on people the way that you could back in the day. You know, back in the day, and I'm gonna have to back up so I don't overload my mic here, but you'd be on the phone, you're like, fuck you, bah! And what you're trying to do is deafen the person as you're hanging up. Whereas nowadays, fuck you. At least with the flip phone, you got something like it because you could like close it really aggressively. You didn't really deafen the other person when you did it, but it felt good. Um, but yeah, so I would really love to see them pick that up. And honestly, I wonder if they're going to once this administration is gone, because they're pressuring them because they don't like woke.
Yeah. Well,
So
well, I mean, honestly, for me, after season 5 of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, which is probably about 2 years out, I'm dropping Paramount, unless they go back to the way they used to be. I refuse to support them. The only reason I have it is for Star Trek.
that's fair. Um, so yeah, I would like to see them bring that back, and I really hope that they will like kind of revisit that IP sooner than later. Um, if they don't, I am confident in saying that in 10 to 15 years, if not sooner, there will be another resurgence and we will get more movies and or more TV shows. I don't think that that's going to go away because the fact of the matter is the IP is just too popular. I just don't see them ever letting it go away entirely. And I think that's actually why it has been successful the way it has, is that so you have 5 seasons with the Discovery and that crew. 5 seasons is a really good run. And they used it as a backdoor pilot to start off Strange New Worlds, which is also getting 5 seasons. And then now we have over here like the 2 seasons of Starfleet Academy, which fuck y'all, it should have been more. But you get to switch from crew to crew to crew. So even though they're all in space and it's all sci-fi, they still get to play with it a little bit and have a lot of variety because you don't have to stick with one crew for 10 fucking years.
Well, I mean, that's why Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager worked. That's why they all got 7 seasons.
Yeah, and at one
And
point
when
they
I
were all
say,
running, right?
yeah, they were all at one time. There was 1 year of a crossover of all three, and this wasn't 10, 12 episode seasons. These were 22 to 24 episodes a season. So yeah, fuck you, Paramount.
Yeah. I do hope that it does come back. I expect that it will. Just it's more of a question of when. But so I can actually use that because with us talking about Star Trek and space travel and all that shit. Um, so I found this article, and it's funny that I found this article because I actually just recently watched Passengers earlier this week, which I didn't have a particular reason for it. I was just it was like it was something to watch, um, and I have I know that Chris Pratt as a person has some kind of shitty beliefs. I don't, but like I do like Jennifer Lawrence like as an actress, so I decided to go ahead and watch that. And apparently, this movie is a pulse check on if you are a psychopath.
That term gets thrown around because there's a difference between a psychopath and a sociopath.
Well, the article said psychopath, but yeah, in this case, sociopath might be a little bit more accurate. But apparently, they're using this as a what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Um, I forget what kind of it's some kind of test. Like you're basically like doing a pulse check, but I can't
It's a
remember.
social experiment.
Yeah, there's that too. There's something there's something specific I'm looking for. I believe it's like blank test. I just don't remember what the actual phrase is. But at any rate, y'all understand what I'm saying. Um, now have you watched that movie by the way?
I've not seen the movie. I've seen clips of it and I've seen it being promoted on various platforms, but I've not watched it. Just really haven't had a desire, even though it has Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. I'm kind of like, yeah, okay.
So do you know the premise of it?
I do know the premise of it. Yeah.
So, for those of y'all who are watching or listening and you don't know, so they're on a 90-year journey from Earth to this other planet. I don't remember what it's called. It's really not important. So they're in suspended animation, And the ship is going through like an asteroid field, which, first of all, why the fuck did you plot it to go through an asteroid field? That just sounds really stupid. Now, they had a shield, a little force field shield, and it does break up the majority of the asteroids that they come across, but it caused like an energy surge, and like Chris Pratt wakes up. Only Chris Pratt. And he tries to work on his little pod. He tries to go back to sleep. Now he wakes up 30 years out from Earth. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's 120 years because he has 90 years to go. 89 specifically, but whatever. He had 89 years to go. So it's like, if I can't go back to sleep, I'm going to die on this ship. It may not be soon because they have it's not replicators like what Star Trek has, but they have readily, available food, coffee, all that kind of stuff. He can feed himself. And then you have fuck, what's the actor? The guy who was in Good Omens. Sheen, something Sheen. He played the angel in Good Omens.
Yeah, I want to say Martin, but it's not Martin. Charlie, no, not him either. It's the other Sheen. There's too many Sheens.
Yeah. Well, so he is a bartender, and he's an android bartender. That has been his only conversation for a year. And somewhere in there, he came across Jennifer Lawrence's pod, and he kept saying, like,
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen, thank you. He came across Jennifer Lawrence's pod and decided, like, he got really infatuated with her. And I understand that he's been alone for a year, and like the one side of his brain is that if you wake her up, you are killing her. Like in a roundabout way, you are killing her. But on the other side, I have been alone for a year, and it looks like I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. So which side of the argument you fall on apparently is a barometer for whether you are a fucking lunatic. Um, and I, as much as I understand where he's coming from with it, I don't think that it was well written because at the end of it, he could have let Jennifer Lawrence go back to sleep. He found a way for her to go back into hibernation, and she chose not to. And she chose to knowing that he woke her up, knowing he intentionally woke her up. She decides we're going to spend the rest of our lives together for however long that is. And I don't like that. She should have hated him for the rest. Well, I understand that if it's the only other person around you that you may feel a need to connect and make up, but she should have hated him for like at least a year, and that didn't happen. So I don't like that. I don't like that aspect of it.
What side do you want me to argue? Because I can argue either side.
Well, okay, if you were in, so where would you be if it was you in that shoe? If you were Chris Pratt, so where do you fall?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have just carried on because I'm adaptable to either situation. I don't need somebody around me to, keep me company. I can do it myself, or I can easily switch to being extroverted. So me, I would have just left everybody alone, make sure nothing happened to their systems, their pods, stuff like that, and they got to their destination where they needed to be. That's me. I would probably go in and have sit next to their pods and have conversations, kind of like the whole, Tom Hanks and Wilson thing in Castaway. I would have conversations with them, pretend they're talking back to me and responding back, but I would not disturb their sleep unless there was a huge, huge issue. Like, let's say one of the engines went out and it's knocking us off course. I need an engineer or a mechanic. I'd go find out on the manifest who's an engineer or mechanic, wake them up, take care of the immediate need, see if they can fix your pod as well, and knowing that they can get back to sleep.
Actually, it's funny you say that because I believe the crew was actually sequestered. They were in their own like region and pods, which was kind of fucked up.
Huh.
So
yeah, it is fucked up.
But actually, it's funny you say that because about 2/3 of the way into the movie, Lawrence Fishburne is actually a crew member, and he gets woken up. He is not part of the like driving crew, but he is more of an engineer, and they eventually find out that the reason why Chris Pratt woke up and the reason why Lawrence Fishburne woke up, because both of those were mechanical failure, it is because of a problem with the ship. And had Lawrence Fishburne not been there, the entire ship would have died. So there was that. Um, and there's a lot of technical aspects of it that I don't have the time or inclination to really explain. It's um but no, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. Now, what I think should have happened, and this would have pretty much nullified the entire fucking movie, but why did they? So they had an android bartender, right? They had the technology to do that. Why did they not have an android crew to pilot and take care of the ship and maintenance while everyone slept? That was fucking stupid. And it's a 120-year journey. Maybe you're thinking, hey, these androids may not last the whole time. Fine, have backups. Like have it on like those systems where like you have like a clone system, and as soon as you die, there's like a dead man switch, and your clone wakes up and takes your place. Do that with the androids. Like if one goes down, it has a dead man switch where the new android comes up to replace him. That would have made a lot more fucking sense. But
I just love how you threw like the sixth day into the whole plot of the fucking movie.
I'm watching it and I'm just like, you could have avoided all of this with an android crew. That's all you had to fucking do. But
no, yeah, and I get, and I was looking at the article. I read through the article, and some people and the author, and it was brilliantly written. It really was, but the author is suggesting to use this as a Rorschach test for your friends and whatnot. And the thing is a Rorschach test. All it does is it's a projective test, meaning there's an assumption that somebody's gonna project their unconscious thoughts or internal frame of reference onto the situation at hand. It doesn't really delve into the psyche. It's just internal thoughts. I mean, like I said, I can argue either side of that. So depending on the mood I'm in at that particular moment, doesn't really allow anybody in, doesn't, allow anybody into my psyche. All it is like, hey, I feel like being an ass right now, so I'm going to take this argument.
yeah, I can understand that. And I know there's a scene where he actually he contemplated blowing himself out of the airlock without a suit, so committing suicide. And I understand it. It's actually it is one of those movies that I think the majority of us can understand his character, like where he's coming from and what his position is. We as humans are social creatures. That is how we're designed. That is how we're wired. That's how we're built. So I understand the need for another human, but like, and I'll be honest, if it was me, I I don't know what I would have done. I really don't. And if I do wake somebody up, if I do break, quote unquote, I don't know if I would have lasted a year. So I will admit that. But like what he did was a shitty thing. Like there's no getting around that. And I do appreciate that the movie doesn't excuse that. It's a shitty thing that he did. And he knows that. So I at least appreciate that the movie did that. Um, Although what I just got done watching right before I came out here, there's another movie on Netflix. It is what I like to call the plot in and of itself is functional enough. It does just enough to kind of get you from scene to scene to scene. But what it does really, really well is the tension. Is this movie Fall? Have you heard of this or watched it?
I have not.
So beginning of the movie, opening scene. So you have these three friends. Two of them are married. So Dan and Becky are married, and their friend Hunter. They're doing rock climbing. They're on a fucking sheer cliff face. And long story short, he fell. He died. And the wife, Becky, is now, she spends the next year just like in a depressive hole. And her friend Hunter says, I'm going to get you out of this. Let's go climb this TV tower out in the middle of the desert. It's a decommissioned tower, 2,000 feet up. Once they get to the top, the ladder broke.
Oh, jeez.
So they're at the top of this 2,000-foot tower in the middle of the desert. And they're, of course, they have no cell signal up there.
Oh, you think you get great service up there?
You would think, well, also it's a decommissioned tower that they're on. So the only thing functioning with this tower, because there are satellites like about 100, about 60, 70 feet below them. There are satellites there, but the only thing functioning on this tower anymore is a light bulb at the top, and apparently the light bulb is just so airplanes don't hit it. um, but it's very good at tension, and they do a lot of overhead shots, which if you're not good with heights, that shit is dizzying.
Okay, we'll not watch.
Now the actresses are probably in front of a green screen, but it's a well done green screen. It's actually from Lionsgate, which I have no. Lionsgate has a talent for having movies that should not work, but they find a way to make it work. And some of the Saw movies are a good example of that. The first Saw movie is probably one of the only good ones, but like if you look at Saw on paper, this movie should be fucking terrible. It should not work. The very first movie does, and it's one of the better movies in the series.
Yeah, it was Mazikeen.
I know that she jumped down, but it almost looked like she fell.
Nope, she jumped up.
I know she did because cats are agile like that, but it was so sudden. It was like, is she okay?
Yeah. No, she's just came over here so Loki would leave her alone.
That's fair. I know our cats have been in the windows lately because I've had rabbits in our yard. I'm pretty sure I think the rabbits are actually making a home right beneath me.
I had a groundhog on the roof of the garage.
How? Well, I mean, I guess they probably took the patio up there, but Jesus.
Yeah.
I also have chipmunks here, and I saw a fucking possum crawling underneath. So that was weird. But yeah, so yeah, if heights are not your thing, yeah, you're not going to want to watch it. But it's an interesting movie, and the cinematography on it is really good. But that's why it's dizzying. But yeah, I'm kind of out of shit to talk about, and I would say that we've had a good run for this episode. So
yeah, and I've got animals that just will not leave me alone right now.
So I think this is a good spot. But so as always, I do want to say, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Feel free to check out Valmont. In 2 weeks, I should have something about the audiobook if y'all are interested in that. But other than that, so I guess, do you have anything closing that you want to say?
Nope.
All right. Well, again, happy Father's Day for y'all. And actually, wait. Oh, today is the fuck. Also House of the Dragon premieres tonight, so we'll have that to talk about next week.
Oh, and I also like to apologize to Boston that you're losing your best people ever. They're moving on to Philadelphia. That would be the Tartan Army, who has drunk Boston out of all their beer and have placed a bunch of traffic cones on the statues to make it look like Glasgow. So, but Tartan Army will be invading Philadelphia later this week.
Oh, also one other thing, because I know you've been watching the World Cup. I'm not. Is the U.S. still in it right now?
Unfortunately. Yes, I hate. I don't care what anybody says. I hate the men's national soccer team. Women's national soccer team, not an issue with. I just don't like the men's national soccer team. Why? Because they're a bunch of pansy ass motherfuckers who want to fall down when nobody even touches them. And that's all they did against Australia. 3 of you were fucking offside. That 1 goal does not fucking count. Okay. And then, oh no, he touched me. I'm going to fall down and blah, blah. Yes, I know soccer fans, they fucking roll around and the soccer players roll around and fucking, they ham it up. They're looking for the best fucking supporting actor and whatnot award. But the American fucking team does it more than any other goddamn fucking team out there except for the Brazilians.
I'm going to put this video in the comment or in the description. You just reminded me. It's fucking hilarious. Did you ever see a sketch Key and Peele? Like, he actually was flopping on the soccer field.
Yeah.
He literally fucking flatlined on the field. And then they're carrying him off, and he comes back, and then he goes and kicks the fucking goal. I'm going to put that video
Yeah.
in the
You also
description.
need to watch Scott Sterling.
I have seen. Oh God, those are so good. I'm putting that in the description too. Those Scott Sterlings, those are fucking gold. But I honestly, I think it's just the state of the world right now. I want us to lose the World Cup. We don't deserve it this year. We
Go
really don't.
Germany.
Go any. I know somebody in New York. I think she's rooting for Colombia, but I don't know who's in it and who's not right
As
now.
long as either Germany, the Netherlands, Norway, Iceland, Belgium, Denmark, one of those teams win, I'm happy.
I I just we don't deserve it this year. We really don't. But
Don't deserve it any year.
especially this year. And especially, you know what? If we lose, if we do get knocked out, you know he's going to crash out and say that it was rigged.
Oh
But
yeah.
at this point, anything that makes him crash out, it makes me happy. So, but anyway, we've rambled enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna see what the hell we're doing for Father's Day. But so thank y'all. Check out our other socials, and we will see you next Tuesday.
All right. Be you.